If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm Mia, and this is the Heal and Grow podcast. A quiet space created for those moments when you feel tired, when your mind feels a little heavy, and you just need to slow down and breathe for a while. Here, you don't have to be perfect. You can just come as you are, and take a small step to feel a little better. Today was a very normal day for me. I woke up, made a cup of coffee, sat down at my desk, ready to work. I told myself, okay, let's do something good today. But then I just sat there, looking at my screen, thinking, trying to start, and nothing came. No ideas, no direction, just a very quiet, empty feeling. I tried to push myself a little more. Maybe I just need to focus. Maybe I should try harder. But the more I tried, the more stuck I felt. So I stopped for a moment. I leaned back, took a deep breath, and just sat there in silence. And I realized, this feeling is not new. Maybe you felt it too. That moment when you want to create something, but your mind just doesn't move, and slowly it starts to feel frustrating. You begin to question yourself. Why can't I think of anything? Did I lose my creativity? But maybe it's not that we don't have ideas. Maybe we just don't understand what's really happening inside us. So in this episode, I want to talk about that quiet moment when creativity feels blocked and how we can gently find our way back again. And after going through that, I started to notice something. Maybe the problem is not that we don't have ideas, but the way we are trying to force them. Let's talk about that. If your work needs creativity, like writing, marketing, art, design, teaching, or content creation, you may know this feeling very well. You sit down, open your laptop, and tell yourself, okay, let's create something. But then, nothing comes. The screen is empty, and your mind feels empty too. In those moments, we often try to force ourselves to be creative. We push harder, we expect too much from ourselves. Sometimes more than what we can handle right now. And that pressure only makes things heavier. You try to think harder, you wait for an idea to appear, but the more you try, the more quiet your mind becomes. And slowly, a small doubt starts to grow inside you. Why can't I think of anything? Did I lose my creativity? Was I ever really good? Or just lucky before? If you've ever felt this way, I want you to pause for a moment. Because what you're experiencing is more common than you think. There are moments when you still want to create, you still care, but nothing seems to move inside your mind. You may sit there for a long time, starting, stopping, trying again, but everything feels a bit heavy, a bit forced, like you've lost your natural flow. And that can feel frustrating, even confusing, because you know you can create. You've done it before, but right now, you just can't reach it. This experience actually has a name. It's called a creative block. But here is something very important to understand. It does not mean you have no ideas, and it does not mean you've lost your creativity. Most of the time, it simply means your mind is too full, too tired, or under too much pressure. And because of that, your natural flow becomes quiet. So in this episode, we are not going to force ideas to come. Instead, we're going to understand what is really happening inside your mind and gently bring your creativity back. Not by pushing harder, but by creating space. If we slow down and look a little deeper, we can start to understand this better. A creative block is usually not about having no ideas. It is about what is happening inside your mind. Sometimes you think too much. You want everything to be good from the start, so you keep planning and fixing in your head. And in the end, you don't begin at all. Sometimes your mind is too full. You watch, listen, and read so many things, but you don't give yourself time to process them. So there is no space for new ideas to come. Sometimes it's fear. You don't allow yourself to make something simple or imperfect, and that quiet pressure slowly blocks your creativity. And sometimes you feel a little lost. You're not sure what you really want to say anymore, or you try to be like someone else. So your ideas don't feel natural. They don't feel like you. And when all of these things come together, your mind becomes crowded. A bit heavy. A bit disconnected. But there are also some common misunderstandings about creativity that make this even harder. Many people think creativity means having big, perfect ideas right away. But real creativity often starts small, simple, and even messy. Some people believe you need to feel inspired first. But most of the time, inspiration comes after you begin, not before. And sometimes we think we have to be original all the time. But in reality, it's okay to learn from others and slowly find your own voice. So the problem is not that you don't have ideas. It's that your mind is too crowded, too pressured, or a bit disconnected. And because of that, your creative flow becomes quiet. So if your creative flow becomes quiet, it doesn't mean it's gone. It may just mean you've lost connection to it for a while. This reminds me of a very quiet moment in the movie Kiki's Delivery Service. Kiki is a young witch who once could fly freely. But one day she tries to fly. And she simply can't. No matter how hard she tries, nothing happens. That moment feels very similar to a creative block because it's not that she never had the ability, it's that she cannot access it anymore. She becomes confused and a little scared because something that once felt so natural now feels impossible. And the more she worries, the harder it becomes. If you think about it, this is exactly what happens to us. There are moments when you used to write easily, speak clearly, create freely. But suddenly everything feels heavy. You sit there trying to force it, but the more you push, the further it goes away. Not because your ability is gone, but because your mind is too tense, too tight to let it flow. In the story, Kiki doesn't lose her magic forever. She loses her connection to it. And that is a very important difference. In our lives, we don't really lose creativity. We lose the state that allows creativity to appear. When we are too stressed, too afraid, or trying too hard to control the result, we disconnect from that natural flow inside us. Later, Kiki meets a painter, someone who also understands what it means to create. And the painter tells her something very simple but very honest. When I can't paint, I stop. I go for a walk, I look at the scenery, I rest. And when I'm ready, I start again. It sounds simple, but it carries a deep truth. Creativity is not something you can force. It is something you return to. I remember when I first heard this. It changed the way I looked at being stuck. Before, I thought I needed to try harder, be more disciplined, push myself more. But that only made me feel more tired and more disconnected. And slowly, I started to understand. Maybe the problem was not that I wasn't doing enough. Maybe I was not giving myself enough space to feel, to rest, to reconnect. So now, when I feel stuck, I don't panic as much as before. I see it as a signal, not a failure. A signal that something inside me needs space, needs quiet, needs kindness. And just like Kiki, I trust that the ability is still there. It hasn't disappeared. It's just waiting for the moment I come back to myself a little more gently. And maybe if you are feeling stuck right now, you are not losing your creativity either. You are just a little disconnected from it. And that means you can always find your way back. So, if creative block is not the enemy, then how do we move through it? The answer is not to force ideas to come, but to gently bring your flow back from the inside. There is a simple reason for this. Your brain has two main modes. One is when you try hard, focus, and analyze. The other is when you relax, and your mind starts to connect ideas naturally. Most creative ideas don't come when you're forcing them. They come when your mind is calm. Like when you are walking, showering, or doing nothing. That's why slowing down can actually help you think better. So first, stop trying to create something good and start creating something real. Instead of asking, is this good enough? Try asking, what am I truly thinking right now? And just write it down simply and honestly, without editing. You can write messy journal lines, draw random shapes. It doesn't have to make sense. When you remove the need to be right, your mind feels free to explore, and that's where creativity begins. Authenticity is one of the most powerful sources of creativity because it comes from something real inside you. Second, reduce the noise and create space. When your mind is too full, like a cup filled to the top, nothing new can enter. If you feel empty or stuck, maybe it's not because you lack ideas. Maybe you've been consuming the same kind of information for too long. So try to change it. If you often read about psychology, try reading about architecture. If you usually watch business content, try a nature documentary. When different ideas meet each other, new perspectives appear, and also, give your mind real quiet moments. Try walking without music, watering your plants, or simply looking at the sky for 5 minutes. These small pauses help your brain move into a more relaxed state, where ideas begin to connect naturally. Third, don't wait for inspiration. Ask better questions. Ideas don't come from nowhere. They come from attention. You can ask yourself simple questions like, what am I struggling with lately? Or, what do I really want to say? Or even, if no one is judging me, what would I want to create right now? Very often, the answer is already inside you. You just need to listen. Fourth, allow yourself to create something imperfect. The pressure to make something valuable right away is one of the biggest blocks. So give yourself permission to make something bad. Tell yourself, this is just my first version. When you remove pressure, action becomes easier. And when action feels safe, creativity starts to move again. Fifth, come back to your body. Take a slow walk, breathe deeply, stretch a little. Because creativity is not only in your mind, it is also in your state. When your body relaxes, your thoughts become lighter too. And maybe you can remember this simple image. Creativity is like breathing. There is a time to breathe in, to learn, to observe, to absorb, and there is a time to breathe out, to create, to express, to share. If you are finding it hard to breathe out right now, maybe this is your moment to slow down, to breathe in deeply, and allow yourself to rest. And finally, start small. Don't wait to create something big. Just write a few lines, record 1 minute, or note down 3 simple ideas. Flow doesn't begin with big action. It begins with small movement. And maybe the most important thing to remember is this: creative block is not here to stop you. It is simply a signal that your mind needs space, your body needs rest, and you need to return gently to yourself. I truly hope that from today, you will be a little more gentle with your creativity and a little more patient with yourself. And I hope you will keep finding small moments of inspiration, not just sometimes, but in your everyday life. And if you feel like you need a quiet place to come back to, you can explore more episodes in this playlist. I've made them for moments just like this. When you feel a bit lost, a bit tired, or simply need a gentle reminder, I'll always be here with you on this journey of understanding yourself, growing slowly, and creating in your own way. It feels like we've been walking together for quite a while now on this journey of healing and growing. And I just want to say thank you for staying, for listening, for choosing to grow little by little. I truly believe this journey will keep getting better and better for all of us. And you know what makes me smile the most? It's knowing that you are listening to me right now, from so many different places around the world. Maybe you are at home, maybe on your way somewhere, or just lying down, taking a quiet moment for yourself. Wherever you are, I'm really glad you're here. And I'm curious about you. How have you been lately? Has your life felt a little lighter, a little calmer, or maybe you're still figuring things out? If you feel comfortable, you can share a little bit in the comments. Just something simple like, I'm doing a bit better, or I'm still trying. I read your comments and they really mean a lot to me. They remind me that we are not alone in this. Today, I want to share a small story with you. A few days ago, I went out for coffee, just a normal day, nothing special. But then I met an old friend. We hadn't seen each other for a long time, and when I saw her, I was honestly a little surprised. Not because she changed her style or her clothes, but something about her felt different. She looked calmer, more grounded, more at peace, and I could feel it even before she said anything. So we sat down, talked for a while, shared stories about life. And slowly I started to understand what changed. It wasn't something outside, it was something inside her. After that conversation, I kept thinking about it. And I realized there are some simple but important things that many of us don't really talk about. So today, I want to share those thoughts with you. I hope this episode can help you understand yourself a little more, and maybe feel a little more at ease in your own journey. Everyone wants to look better. Everyone wants to become better. To be more confident, more attractive, more capable. And I understand that feeling because I've been there too. Trying to follow advice, trying to change, trying to become better. But most of us don't really know where to start. Every day, we hear so much advice. Do this, do that, change your habits, upgrade your life. And maybe you've tried. You've followed some of those ideas, you've made an effort, but somehow things don't feel that different. Maybe you still feel tired, still feel a bit lost, still feel like something is missing. And after a while, it can feel confusing. Like no matter how much you try, your life doesn't really get better. If you've ever felt that way, I just want you to know, you're not alone. There is always something more to fix, something more to improve. But very few people tell us something simple. Where does real change actually begin? If you want to glow and grow, here is something people don't often say. A real glow up does not start with clothes or looks. It starts in your mind. Because the truth is, people may forget what you wear, they may forget what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. Were you kind or rude? Calm or easily angry? Did you listen or did you judge? These small things can stay in someone's heart for a very long time. You can look beautiful, but still feel empty. You can dress nicely, but still feel unsure. Getting attention is easy, but depth is what stays. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you lost control and said something you didn't mean? And later, you wished you could take it back, but the feeling you left in someone else is already there. And maybe you've also met someone who made you feel safe, calm, and understood, even without saying much. You don't always remember their exact words, but you remember the feeling. That is why the people we remember are not always the loudest. They are calm, present, and comfortable with themselves. That kind of confidence takes time. It grows slowly, in quiet ways. There is a kind of beauty that does not try to stand out. It does not ask for attention. But once you see it, you don't forget it. It is the beauty of a clear mind. And when your mind becomes clearer, something else starts to change too. Today, there is so much noise around us. So many opinions, so many voices, so many things telling you who you should be, but clarity feels different. It feels calm, simple, and steady. Attractive people are not the ones who react to everything. They don't need to join every conversation or prove every point. They choose carefully. They know what to focus on and what to let go. And slowly you start to notice something. A person with a clear mind understands themselves. They know who they are, what they believe in, and why they act the way they do. They don't try to sound complicated. They can explain deep ideas in a simple, easy way. They don't use big words just to impress people. And they don't carry unnecessary drama with them. Even when life is not easy, the way they handle things feels light, calm, almost effortless, and because of that, they feel peaceful and full of positive energy. And you can feel it, not because they say something special, but because everything about them feels consistent. Their thoughts, their words, and their actions all move in the same direction, and that creates trust. They don't need to try to be someone else. They're just being themselves, and that natural confidence becomes something very magnetic. When you read with purpose, you don't just learn facts. You learn how to think. You start to see patterns. You ask questions, and slowly your thoughts become your own. And this changes the way you speak. You don't need to rush. You don't need to say too much. Your words feel calm and real. Learning also keeps you humble. It's okay to be new. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to say, I don't know. And somehow that honesty makes people feel safe around you. Because in a world full of noise, clarity is rare. And that quiet clarity is what makes you unforgettable. And when you start to build that clarity inside, you begin to take care of your inner world in a different way. There are many simple ways to build this kind of clarity. And you can find a lot of helpful ideas about it here in the Heal and Grow podcast. But in this episode, I just want to share a few things that have worked really well for me. The first one is writing. Writing can help you see yourself more clearly. When you write, you don't just put words on a page, you begin to understand what you really think and feel. Your thoughts become simpler, more honest, and over time, your decisions become easier. If you want to try, you can start very simply. Every day, just take 5 to 10 minutes. You don't need to write something perfect. You can ask yourself a few small questions like, how am I feeling today? What made me happy today? What is one thing that is still on my mind? And then just write. Write freely, without judging yourself. No one will read it, so you can be honest. Some days you may only write a few lines, and that's okay. What matters is that you show up for yourself. Another way is creativity. When you create something, even something small, you learn about balance. You learn what is enough, you learn when to stop, and you learn to enjoy quiet moments, not just noise. And slowly, you don't feel the need to do everything anymore. You just choose what truly matters. Taking care of your body also helps your mind. When you move your body, your thoughts become lighter. When you slow down and sit in stillness, your mind begins to calm. And little by little, something inside you starts to change. You stop reacting to everything around you, and you begin to respond with more awareness. And people can feel that calm, even before you say a single word. So maybe a real glow up is not about becoming someone new, but about coming back to who you really are. To think more clearly, to feel more calmly, and to choose your life with intention. And to be honest, I'm still learning this too. Some days I forget, some days I react too fast or feel overwhelmed. But I keep reminding myself to slow down, to breathe, to come back to clarity. Little by little. And maybe you are doing the same, trying your best, even when it's not perfect. And that already matters more than you think. Because at the end of the day, people may forget your words, your style, your image, but they will remember how you made them feel. And that feeling comes from how you treat yourself first. So be gentle with yourself. You don't need to rush. You don't need to fix everything today. Just take one small step, and then another. And I truly hope that on your journey ahead, you will feel a little more calm, a little more clear, and a little more confident in who you are becoming. And if you are also learning English with me here, thank you for trusting me to be part of your journey. You're doing better than you think. Just keep going, one small step at a time. And if this episode helped you in any way, you can share a small thought in the comments. I would really love to hear from you. We are growing together, slowly but surely. This podcast is always here to walk with you, especially on the days when you feel lost, tired, or not quite like yourself. Last night, something small happened, but it made me stop and think. I was cleaning my desk, slowly putting things back in place. And then I found an old notebook, an old journal I wrote a long time ago. I sat down and started reading a few pages. And honestly, I was a little surprised. Because I could see how messy my mind used to be. So many worries, so many questions, so much overthinking, page after page. It felt heavy, like I was trying so hard to understand everything, to fix everything. And for a moment, I just sat there quietly, and I realized something. Maybe the world has not changed much. It is still noisy, still fast, still full of pressure. But something inside me has changed. And maybe you have felt this too. Maybe right now, without changing anything, you can notice it. Your mind is not really quiet, is it? Even as you are listening, there is still something moving inside. A thought, a feeling, a small noise in the background. And the strange thing is, most of us don't even realize it anymore. We are so used to the noise. That silence almost feels unfamiliar. So let me ask you something. When was the last time your mind was truly quiet? Not scrolling, not thinking about work, not worrying about something. Just quiet. If you cannot remember, you are not alone. Today, many people are not tired because of work. They are tired because their mind never stops. The world around us is always talking. Messages, news, social media. Everything feels fast. Everything feels loud. And slowly, the noise outside becomes noise inside. Your thoughts become busy, restless, scattered. And you start to feel like you cannot slow down. Like something inside you is always running, even when you are supposed to rest. I used to live like this, and maybe you will recognize this feeling too. Every evening I held my phone, just scrolling, telling myself just a few more minutes. Like it was something small, something harmless. But somehow those few minutes always became an hour or more. And when the night finally got quiet and I put my phone down, I didn't feel at peace. I just felt tired. My body was heavy, but my mind was still running, replaying things, thinking about tomorrow, worrying about small things that didn't really matter. And maybe you've had nights like this too, when everything is silent, but your mind is not. I remember lying there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, asking myself, why do I feel like this? Even when nothing is really wrong? I thought maybe I just needed more rest. Or maybe I needed more discipline. Maybe I just had to try harder. But the more I tried to fix it, the more tired I became. Until one night, something very simple became clear. I was not just tired, I was overwhelmed. And the truth was, I never gave my mind a place to rest. For a long time, I kept telling myself, maybe one day, when life is more stable, when work is easier, when everything is under control, then I will feel calm. But life doesn't really slow down like that. There is always something new, something to think about, something to deal with. And if you keep waiting for the outside world to become quiet, you might end up waiting for a very long time. And maybe you felt this too, when your mind becomes noisy again, and you start to wonder, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stay calm? But nothing is wrong with you. Your mind is just doing what it has learned to do. Keep moving. Keep thinking. Keep reacting. And here is something that gently changed everything for me. Peace is not a place you reach and stay forever. It's something you return to again and again, like coming back home, even after a long day. And the more you return, the more natural it begins to feel. A peaceful person does not live a life without problems. They still face difficulties, still feel sadness, still go through moments that are heavy and confusing. But the difference is, they don't fight everything that happens inside them. When something hard comes, they don't immediately panic or try to control every outcome. They pause, they breathe, and they allow the moment to be what it is. When they feel sad, they don't rush to escape it. They sit with it, gently, without judging themselves. And when something good happens, they don't cling too tightly. They enjoy it, but they understand it will pass. So instead of being pulled up and down by every situation, they stay a little more steady, a little more grounded, not because life is easier, but because inside them, there is space. Space to feel. Space to accept. And space to come back to themselves, no matter what life brings. I remember one morning, very early. The sun had just started to rise. The light was soft, almost golden, and I was sitting by the window, not doing anything, just looking outside. There were trees moving gently in the wind, a few people walking slowly. The world felt calm, not silent, but gentle. And for a moment, my mind also became quiet. Not because I forced it, but because I stopped adding more noise. And in that moment, I felt something very simple, but very real. A kind of peace that didn't come from achieving anything, didn't come from fixing anything. It was just there. And I remember thinking, I wish you could feel this too. Before you experience this kind of quiet, you feel like you are your thoughts. Whatever your mind says feels true, feels urgent. If your mind says, I'm not good enough, you believe it. If it says something might go wrong, you feel anxious immediately. You don't question it. You just become it. But when you begin to slow down, something very subtle changes. You start to notice, I am having this thought. Instead of, this thought is me. The thought is still there. But now there is a small space between you and the thought, and inside that space, you are no longer controlled by everything your mind says. That is what peace really gives you. Not a perfectly quiet mind, but freedom. But here is the truth most people don't realize. That space does not stay open by itself. Life will close it again. Through stress, through distraction, through constant thinking. And one day you may feel like you lost it. But you didn't. You just stopped returning. Peace was never something you keep forever. It is something you come back to. And that is why protecting your peace is not optional. It is necessary. Because if you don't, it slowly disappears. You wake up and check your phone. Your mind starts running right away. And it doesn't stop. Small things start to feel big. You overthink more. You get tired faster. You react more easily. Even simple days feel heavy. And after a while, you don't even feel like yourself anymore. Not because life is too hard, but because your mind never gets a chance to rest. So if you don't protect your peace, the world won't stop. It will just keep adding noise. And your mind will follow. And I didn't realize this at first. Until I made one small change. Something very simple. I started with my phone. I turned off almost all notifications. No social media alerts. No unnecessary messages. Only what truly mattered. At first it felt uncomfortable, like I was missing something. Like I needed to check. But after a short time, something shifted. My mind became quieter. I stopped reaching for my phone every few minutes. I stopped thinking about too many things at once, and I realized something simple. Most things are not urgent. They only feel urgent. Then I created small quiet moments. Every morning, before touching my phone, I sat quietly. I looked outside. I breathed slowly. At first my mind resisted. It wanted stimulation. But I stayed, and slowly, something softened inside me. In the evening, I put my phone away. Not just silent, but away from me. And my mind slowed down. I slept deeper. And during the day, I created small reset moments. Just 1 minute. To pause, to breathe, to begin again. These things are simple, but they create something powerful. Space. And in that space, your mind can rest. And when your mind learns how to rest, everything else becomes lighter. Clearer, more manageable. Over time, you stop reacting to everything. You feel less pulled in many directions. You become more steady, more present, more like yourself. That quiet place inside you becomes your home, so please protect your peace. Not when life is easy, but especially when it is busy. Not when you have time, but when you feel like you don't, because that is when you need it the most. Tonight, try something small. Put your phone away. Sit quietly. Take a slow breath, and come back to yourself. Even just for a moment, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are just surrounded by too much noise. And peace has always been there, waiting for you to return. Take a slow breath because today this message might change how you see yourself. We live in a world where everything looks perfect. Perfect photos, perfect bodies, perfect success. And slowly we start to believe, I need to be perfect too. So we wait. We wait until we are ready, we wait until we are better, we wait until everything feels right. But here is the truth. That moment almost never comes. Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something because you felt not ready? Maybe you wanted to speak English, but you were afraid of making mistakes. Maybe you wanted to start something new, but you thought, I'm not good enough yet. So you waited, and in the end, you did nothing. I understand that feeling because I was like that too. There was a time when I told myself, I will start when I am ready. I will share when it is perfect. I will try when I feel confident. But days passed and nothing changed, because I was always waiting for a version of me that did not exist yet. And one day I realized something simple. Perfection was not helping me. It was stopping me. Because perfection creates pressure. It tells you that you must be better. You must not make mistakes. You must not fail. And that pressure makes you tired. It makes you scared to try. But life is not perfect, and maybe it was never meant to be. You know, sometimes we think that perfect means no flaws. But in real life, many beautiful things are not perfect at all, and still we love them. In Japan, there is an art called kintsugi. When a bowl or a cup is broken, people don't throw it away. They repair it using gold. So the cracks become golden lines. And after that, the bowl is not only fixed, it becomes more beautiful than before. The broken parts are not hidden. They are highlighted. They become something special. And maybe we are the same. We all have cracks. We all have mistakes. We all have moments when we feel broken. But what if those parts are not something to hide? What if they are what make us unique? Let's take another example, snow. When we think about snow, we imagine something pure and white, perfect. But in reality, snow is never completely clean. There is always a little dust, a little dirt. And yet, when you look at snow, it still feels calm, beautiful, peaceful. Because beauty does not come from being perfect. It comes from how something makes you feel. Or think about handmade things. A handmade cup, a small drawing, a handwritten letter. They are not perfect. The lines are not straight. The shape is not exact. But that is why they feel warm, real, alive. If everything is perfect, it can feel cold, like a machine. But when something has small imperfections, it feels human, and we connect with it more. So maybe we don't need to fix everything. We don't need to hide every mistake. Sometimes we just need to see them differently. Instead of saying, "This is not good enough," you can say, "This is part of my story." And when you start to see your imperfections this way, something changes inside you. You feel lighter, you feel freer. And this is something very powerful. The power of not perfection. When you stop trying to be perfect, you start taking action. When you accept that mistakes are okay, you start learning faster. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, you give yourself permission to grow. Perfection says, wait until everything is right. But growth says, start now and improve along the way. Progress does not come from perfection. It comes from action. Trying, failing, fixing, and improving again. Think about the first airplane. It was not perfect. It was simple and limited, but someone still built it. And because of that, today we can fly across the world. Think about the early internet. It was slow and unstable, but people still used it. They kept improving it. And now it connects billions of people every day. Every great product you see today started as version 1. Not perfect, sometimes full of mistakes, but it was real and it was moving forward. They did not wait to be perfect. They chose to begin, and they chose to improve along the way. And imagine this. If everyone waited until everything was perfect, nothing would ever be created. No ideas, no innovation, no progress. So maybe the goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to keep going. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they are not good enough. They fail because they never start. But you are different, because today you understand something simple. You don't need to be perfect to move forward. You just need to begin. Think about a baby learning to walk. They fall many times, they are not perfect, but they keep going. They don't wait to be perfect. They learn by doing. This is how life works. Not perfect, but progress. Not perfect, but better than yesterday. So how can you start? Let's keep it simple. First, allow yourself to be a beginner. You don't need to be good. You just need to begin. Second, take small steps. Not big, just one small action today. Third, be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself like a friend, not like a judge. And finally, celebrate your progress. Even small progress matters. So today, if you are waiting to be perfect, maybe this is your sign. You don't need to wait anymore. Remember this. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to be a work in progress. And maybe your imperfections are not something to hide. Maybe they are the most beautiful part of you. Thank you for being here with me today. If this message stayed with you, take a moment to pause and think about one small step you can take today. And if you need a gentle reminder, you can always come back and listen again. Take care of yourself. And remember, it's okay to not be perfect. There is a moment when you stop and look at your life and quietly feel that something is missing. Not because you are not trying, not because you are not working hard, but because it seems like everyone else is already ahead. They have direction. They have success. They have something you are still looking for. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to believe that you are late. But maybe the truth is much simpler than that. Maybe your life is not late. It is just moving at a different pace. Like in the story of the tortoise and the hare, everything at the beginning made it look like the hare would win easily. He was faster, more confident, always ahead, while the tortoise was slow, quiet, and far behind. And if you only looked at the middle of the race, you would think the tortoise had no chance, that he was too slow, too late. But the story was never about who started fast. It was about who kept moving at the right pace. And in the end, the tortoise still reached the finish line. Not because he was better, but because he stayed consistent in his own rhythm. And maybe your life is the same. Maybe it does not matter how fast others are moving. What matters is that you keep going, step by step, at your own pace. Because moving slowly does not mean you are falling behind. It simply means you are growing in a different way. And you can see this clearly in nature. Some of the most beautiful flowers bloom at completely different times. Cherry blossoms appear early in spring, soft and brief, blooming only for a short moment when the weather is still cool. Sunflowers come later in summer, growing tall under strong sunlight, taking time to reach their full height before they open wide and bright. And chrysanthemums bloom even later, in autumn, when the air becomes cooler again, quietly opening when many other flowers have already faded. Flowers do not compare themselves to other flowers. They just bloom. And the reason they bloom at different times is not because one is faster or better than the others, but because each flower depends on different conditions, temperature, sunlight, environment. Each one has its own natural timing written into its growth. And in the same way, your life also depends on many invisible conditions. Your experiences, your struggles, your learning, your environment, all shaping your path in ways you may not fully see yet. So just because your moment has not arrived does not mean it will not come. It simply means you are still growing, quietly, in your own season. And if you look closely at real life, you will see this everywhere. Some people succeed early, but later in life, they lose everything and have to start again. Some people feel lost in their 20s, but slowly build something strong and meaningful in their 40s or 50s. Some people get married very young, but realize they were not ready. And some people take more time, find the right person later, and stay together for the rest of their lives. And when you see these stories side by side, something becomes very clear. There is no single timeline that works for everyone. Take the story of Colonel Harlan Sanders. For most of his life, he struggled. He worked many different jobs. He failed again and again. By the time he was in his 60s, many people would think it was too late to start anything new. Too late to succeed. Too late to change his life. But that was exactly when his journey truly began. At the age of 65, he started sharing his fried chicken recipe. He traveled from place to place, facing rejection many times. But he did not stop. And slowly, step by step, he built what would later become KFC, one of the most well-known brands in the world. If he had believed that he was too late, his story would have ended very differently. And maybe this is what we often forget. We look at someone's success, but we do not see their timeline. We only see the result, not the years of waiting, trying, and starting over. So when you feel like you are behind, remember this. Life does not follow one schedule. It unfolds in many different ways. Some people arrive early. Some arrive later. But that does not make one life better than another. It simply means each life has its own timing. And maybe the hardest part is not being behind, but not knowing where you are going. There is a quiet kind of confusion that many people carry every day. You wake up, you go through your routine, you do what you are supposed to do, but deep inside, something feels unclear. You are trying, but you are not sure if you are trying the right thing. You are moving, but you do not know if you are moving in the right direction. And that feeling can be exhausting. Sometimes it feels like everyone else has a map. They know where they are going. They have a clear goal, a clear plan, a clear future. And you look at your own life and all you see are questions. What should I do? What am I good at? What is the right path for me? And the more you think about it, the more lost you feel, and maybe you have tried many things already. Maybe you started something with hope, but it did not work out. Maybe you changed directions more than once. Maybe you felt excited in the beginning, but then slowly lost motivation. And now you are not just confused, you are also tired. Tired of starting again. Tired of not knowing. Tired of feeling like you should have figured it out by now. But here is something I want you to hear very clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. Feeling lost does not mean you are failing. It means you are searching. And searching is not a waste of time. It is part of the process. In fact, many people who eventually find a meaningful path do not find it quickly. They go through uncertainty. They try things that do not work. They take wrong turns. And for a long time, their life does not look impressive from the outside. But inside, something important is happening. They are learning. They are discovering what they like, what they do not like, what matters to them, and what does not. And this kind of learning cannot be rushed. It cannot be forced. It only comes through experience, through time, through living. So if you feel like you are still trying to figure things out, you are not alone. You are not behind. You are in the middle of becoming. And even if it feels slow, even if it feels unclear, even if it feels frustrating, it is still progress. quiet progress, invisible progress,
but real progress. And maybe one day you will look back at this time in your life, this confusing, uncertain, uncomfortable time, and you will realize it was not wasted. It was preparing you. It was shaping you. It was guiding you, step by step, to a path that truly belongs to you. So take a deep breath and be a little kinder to yourself today. You do not need to have everything figured out right now. You do not need to move as fast as others. What matters is that you keep going, gently, honestly, at your own pace. Trust that your life is unfolding in ways you may not fully understand yet. Trust that the time you spend learning, trying, and even struggling is not wasted. It is building something inside you. And one day, it will all make sense. One day, you will arrive. Not because you rushed, but because you stayed, you tried, and you believed.